Let's talk a little bit about the group of five, Heather. So there's a lot here with Boise State. We mentioned it earlier. Jake did. Is there any other team that is in the mix right now, or does Boise State need to fumble in order to not get that spot?
Well, we can't write off UNLV just because they
No.
lost on a Friday night to Syracuse, because it's the five highest ranked conference champions. And for the casual football fans listening, Mountain West Conference, Boise State, UNLV, they're going to play each other. This is going to be settled on the field. I think what separates Boise State right now is the fact that they went to Oregon and almost won.
Yep.
And there is such a thing in that committee meeting room as a good loss, and that certainly counts as one of them. They're going to play Washington State and Oregon State because of that Pac-12 Mountain West partnership with scheduling. They've already defeated one of those teams. So they're going to have the resume. And you mentioned Cam Ward. The committee does like star power. I have been on those teleconferences after rankings, and the committee chair will mention this player and that Heisman caliber player. They notice that, and Boise State's got one in their running back, Ashton Genty, who should be in New York for that Heisman conversation.
Yep, I agree. Jake, how do you see this G5 playing out here?
Well, if they like star power, what about Blake Horvath, Heather? That's right in your backyard. Just number one in the country in quarterback efficiency. Navy's airing it out. This is a question I have for Heather. So I agree with everything you said. It almost feels like Boise's to lose at this point. Like they probably have a better chance to get to the playoff than anybody in college football when you really think about it, because they have that group of five spot. Like I think if we were just looking at odds, I think they are more likely to get in than Ohio's. Well, maybe not Ohio State, but certainly like Oregon or Notre Dame or Tennessee, somebody like that. What would have to happen for the group of five representative to not be the winner of the Mountain West Conference vis-a-vis Boise State? Like, is there any scenario where we could see somebody else from another conference sneak in? It feels like a long shot, but isn't it possible? What would have to happen?
Real quick, before Heather answers that, I looked at the betting lines for the G5 spot. Boise State, obviously a huge favorite. Second, Liberty. Third, Tulane. Fourth, Memphis. Fifth, Louisiana. So those are kind of the candidates there. And Toledo is also right behind that, but that's a long way to go.
Well, I would just answer that question by saying, look back at week 6 to see all of the upsets. I mean, I wouldn't consider anyone a lock. And I agree with everything that you're saying. To me, it's Boise State to lose. I guess that's the best way to phrase it, right? That's what it feels like right now. But they can lose. And I talked to Spencer Danielson about this. And that's a fine line of saying to your guys, hey, we went to Oregon and almost beat them. You can play with anyone. You can beat anyone. But coaches are also pointing to week 6 and saying, you can lose to anyone. So consistency is the key. They can lose to UNLV. That's how they get left out. Period. They can lose to UNLV. UNLV can win the Mountain West. We're having a different conversation. I would also throw 2-loss Tulane into this conversation because they can win the American. Both of their losses are to Oklahoma and I'm forgetting the
Kansas State. They lost to K-State. A game they should have won, by the way.
Yep.
Yeah. I picked Tulane in the upset in that one.
That's what happened to them.
Yeah, exactly. It's the HDKOD, right? But yeah, so it can happen. But you're right, Jake. It's theirs to lose, it feels like.